Okay, folks, this video is the best proof that Elvis is the Antichrist. And I will have to show some old information to mix with the new information. That way you can grasp the magnitude of what I'm showing. And if you're a new viewer, you're probably not going to fully understand or grasp the magnitude. But anyway, let's get started. So the target date for Seattle being struck is June 11th. And Elvis, somehow his name, the number of his name or his image manifests, during all this or after it, very soon after it. And I've shown this to you 100 times, that from Elvis's birthday, the day he was born, to June 11th, that same year that he was born, it's 154 days. And if you include that day, it's 155. So up to that day, it's 154. And why is this important, the 154? Because the words, the Antichrist equals 154. Okay? Basically, it's like having a second Christ, because there's only one Christ, and that's Jesus. So Christ equals 77. If you have another 77, it makes 154, and that's what the anti equals. So if you want a quick breakdown, it's like this. The letters, what they equal. Okay, so 33 plus 44 is 77, and Christ equals 77, okay? You could just look at it yourself, stop the video. But anyway, it's 77 and 77. And by the way, the word anti equals the exact same as the word kill. And so every time I've shown you kill in my videos, understand that it's also means anti. That's what the word kill equals, anti. Anyway, so it equals 154, the words the Antichrist. And that's why from Elvis's birthday to June 11th is 154 days, which is the Antichrist number. And remember, the devil's in the details. And I told you that it's 42% from Elvis's birthday to June 11th is 42%. And I told you the 42, Elvis died at the age of 42. Washington's the 42nd state. Okay, and I told you the 19 is a crown. All right, that's what that whole corona thing is about. And by the way, forget about the year right here, but do you think it's a coincidence that from Elvis's dad's birthday to September 11th is 154 days? It's the exact same thing. From Elvis's birthday to 6/11 was 154. From April 10th to from Vernon Presley's birthday, Elvis's dad, to September 11th is 154 days. Okay? These are impossible coincidences. And now from Elvis's birthday backwards 154 days, it lands on August 7th. And why is this important? The 8-7. Because I told you this year was Elvis's most important birthday. Okay, and in my videos, I've proven that already. And this year, Elvis turned 87. Remember, I just showed you the 8-7 with that last equation I showed you. And this year, on January 8th, 2022, Elvis turned 87. And I told you Seattle's going to be struck on 6/11. And I told you that this year, 2022, is a water tiger year. Because it's a special tiger year, because it's the water. And the last water tiger year was 1962. That's the year the Space Needle opened in Seattle. And I told you Elvis was the first famous person that had anything to do with the Seattle Space Needle. He made a movie called It Happened at the World's Fair. And notice that Elvis's name is knocking down the Space Needle. And it says Elvis swinging higher than the Space Needle, you see? And remember, I told you that the water tiger year is special. And the word water equals 6722, 6832. which equals the exact same as the name Elvis. Elvis equals 67, 22, 68, 32. Okay, and by the way, Elvis also equals the word reset. So anyway, my point is that this year is a water tiger year, and it happens only every 60 years. Okay, and Elvis equals water. And Elvis, he even had a song that he sang called Tiger Man, but I'm not sure. I don't think he's the original singer of the song, but he would sing Tiger Man, and they even named an album Tiger Man out of Elvis. I mean, his albums. So let's see what the words the Antichrist, fully equals on the gematria calculator. So the words the Antichrist, forget about the back numbers. This is the forward numbers, this is the backwards, and these are the totals. So it's 154, which I showed you earlier. Then the second number is 64. Then the total is 218. 154 plus 64 is 218. And look at this. You know, Elvis was born on 1/8, and there was two of them because his identical twin supposedly died at birth. Okay, so there was two of them born on 1/8. I told you. You see? Do you understand how crazy that is, what I'm showing you? Plus what I showed you earlier with the 154. So now let me show you the Antichrist, connecting it to Elvis. You see, now I wrote Elvis Tiger Man, and look what it equals. The exact same as the Antichrist. Every single number is the same. Elvis Tiger Man. Every single number is the same as the Antichrist. You see? The Antichrist, same numbers. And I told you Elvis is the beast out of the sea in Seattle. And I told you that Elvis is basically the carbon copy of Lucifer, what he looked like in heaven, okay? And if you were to put birth El, because El means God in Hebrew, birth El, this is what it equals, okay? 7438, 115, 43. Birth El equals the exact same as Lucifer, 7438, 115, 43. Because I told you they're going to birth El out of the sea in Seattle, okay? The birthing, out of the water. So Lucifer equals the exact same as birth El. And Elvis has the EL in his name. And I told you they're going to birth El, right? And I told you Elvis turned 87 this year. This was his most important birthday. And the word birthday equals 8742. And I told you these are the backwards numbers. Forget about that. 87, that's how old he is right now. And he died at the age of 42. And I told you Washington's the 42nd state, you see? So the word birthday equals 8742. How crazy is that? And just another great coincidence that from Elvis's birthday, the day he was born, to the date that George Washington died, which was 12/14, it's 8,742 days. 8,742. You see that? That's the word birthday equaled 8,742, and Elvis died at the age of 87. I mean, he's 87 now if he was alive, and he died at the age of 42, and Washington's the 42nd state. And that's important because I told you Seattle's going to be struck, and Seattle is in Washington, and this is to his death. You understand? This was to Washington's death because Washington's going to get struck. Seattle. So now I put the words Elvis and the word birthday. Elvis birthday. Look what it equals. 154, 64, 197, 80. That should look familiar to you. It equals the exact same as Elvis Tiger Man. 154, 64, 197, 80. Exact same numbers. Which I told you equals the Antichrist. So Elvis birthday, Elvis Tiger Man equals the Antichrist. And you see, he was born on 1/8. There was two of them, identical twin he had, who supposedly died at birth. Okay, these are impossible coincidences. And look at that, 277. I just told you that 77 plus 77 is 154. 277s make the Antichrist, because Christ equals 77. Now get ready to be amazed. So let's put, because this is Jesse Garone Presley, his identical twins gravestone. And that's exactly how they spell it on the gravestone. So we're going to put that into the gematria calculator. We're going to see what it equals, okay? And by the way, his initials, JGP, equals 33. And remember, my name is Garo, Garo. So his dead twin, supposed dead twin, has my name in his middle name. But forget about that. Let's just put this whole name into the gematria calculator. Let's see what we get. So look, I just put his whole full name that was on the gravestone, and look what it equals. Remember, this is the forward number, which is more important. This is the backwards number, and these are the totals. Look at this. 222, that's the year, this year, 222, and Elvis turned 87. You see? And remember, he would be 87 also if he's supposedly alive. You know what I mean? So it's the 22287. I told you they're trying to either resurrect Jesse, or they're re-resurrecting, rebirthing Elvis, And Seattle is in King County, and Elvis was known as the king, right? And I told you that, Washington plays a part in this charade. And remember, it's been 222 years since Washington died. Okay? 222 years it's been since he died. And his birthday celebrated on 222, and this year's 2022. You know what I mean? Anyway, like I said, everything's connected. And if you add 20 and 22, that's 42. I just told you Elvis died at the age of 42, and Washington is the 42nd state. If you were to do it that way, 20 and 22. And remember, I told you that Elvis equal water, and it's a water tiger year, and it comes every 60 years. You could look at it that way too. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus the 0, 60. And it comes every 60 years, the water tiger year. And remember, I told you that Levi's is an anagram for the word Elvis, and it's an upside down crown. You see? And look, it's got the R right in the middle of a circle. The R is the 18th letter. That's the 1/8, right? And Elvis was born on 1/8. And I told you that the circle around the R is a crown. Okay? And this is an upside down crown, the Levi's logo, which is the anagram for Elvis. And everybody wears Levi's. You understand? Because Elvis is everywhere. I told you, go listen to that song. Go look at the lyrics of the words of the song, Elvis is everywhere. And remember, this year, Elvis turned 87, and I told you it's his most important birthday. This is the year that he gets his crown. And interestingly enough, if you were to put a crown on the number 87, it equals 154, 64, 218. That's the Antichrist number. And Elvis Tiger Man and Elvis birthday. But the back numbers are not the same. But these three are exactly the same, and these are the more important numbers for his age plus the crown. And look, I put the words O, portal, birth. The O is like I said, a portal. You understand the O? And it's a crown. So O, portal, birth equals the exact same as the Antichrist in the front, not here. And now I put double O, Elvis birth. It equals the exact same as the Antichrist in the front. Because there was two of them, right? When he was born. It's the double crown. Anyway, like I said, the words the Antichrist equals 154. And from Elvis's birthday to June 11th, up to that day, is 154 days. Okay? And I told you Elvis equals water. And this year is a water tiger year. Okay? I mean, these are just impossible coincidences. And the words Elvis Tiger Man equals the Antichrist. And here's more confirmation for you. From Elvis's birthday to February 22nd, if you go forward 777 days, it lands on Washington's birthday celebration day. It's celebrated on 2/22. Get it? 2022, 777, right? Let's put into the gematria calculator 777 and 222. So now I put 777 and 222 into the gematria calculator. And remember, it's been 222 years since Washington died also. And I just showed you from Elvis's birthday to 222 was 777 days. So 777 plus 222, let's see what it equals. Look at that. 611. Do you see? That's the date I'm telling you that Seattle's going to get struck, man. Don't you understand these are impossible coincidences? I'm trying to explain to you that this is supernatural, everything I'm showing you. Okay? 611 is going to get struck. And look, if you don't add the 0, and remember, and make this a crown, 611 plus 55 is 666. 611 plus 55 is 666 with a crown. Do you get it? Okay, folks, listen here. I could go on all day, with tons of information, and I'm leaving out a lot of stuff, but I got to show you this last supernatural, unbelievable information. So now you're going to know why Elvis is choosing June 11th, besides everything I just showed you. So from January 8th to June 11th, now look, not including this day, it's 154 days. Now we're going to include that day, and I'm going to show you. So now it becomes 155 days. So from January 8th to June 11th, it can be 154 or 155. Okay, now in leap year, it can be 155 and 156, but right now, what's the most important is the 154, 155. Okay, and you're going to see right now why it's so important. Because I told you, you can have 2 counts for every time you put a date in, because it can be with the date or without the date. So 154, 155. Now, I put into the gematria calculator, my calculator, 154, 155. And by the way, you will not see it anywhere else other than my calculator, because my calculator gives you the totals. No other calculator does that. And this is the first number combination when going in order. Listen carefully. So if you were to go 1 and 2 and then put it into the calculator, you would not get this equation. If you were to put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's got to be consecutive. So if you went all the way up to 154, 155, remember, it's got to be consecutive. This is the first time that you are going to see this equation. 154, 155. You see? Look at that. First of all, you got the 445 number with a crown. I told you this year, Elvis is between 44 and 45 years to his death. Okay, it's a 45 crown. On August 16th this year, he'll be crowned for the 45 with the crown on August 16th. And the 216 is August 4th. That's Obama's birthday, the day Trump's going to get his head wound. And Trump was the 44 and 45th president. And I just told you that from Elvis's birthday till now, it's been 44, 45. Okay? And I told you that Trump is the 44th person to become president and the 45th actual president. because they are the devil twins, Trump and Elvis. Anyway, so you have 450 and the 216, and then you get the 666. Do you see it? All right, this is the first time, starting from 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do you understand? All the way up to 154, 155 is the first time you see 666. All right, this is not a coincidence.
It's just a beast in me. It's just a beast in me.
So check this little tidbit of information about Elvis. So, you know, in the Bible, Psalm 23, verse 4, it says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." Okay? They're talking about God here. And look what Elvis had at the end of his bed in the saying. His first cousin on his mother's side, his mother's brother's kid, he was inside Elvis's bedroom all the time, this guy named Billy. And at the end of Elvis's bed, there was a plaque that somebody gave Elvis. Now, who would put this at the end of their bed, man? It says, "Ye, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because I'm the evilest son of a, bitch in the valley." Do you see that? Look what this, I mean, who would give this to somebody? Saying I'm the evilest son of a bee in the valley. I mean, you see how mockery this Elvis is? What the heck? Anyway, folks, I could have made this video hours long. Like I said, I had tons of information I had to leave out. So remember, these are my two predictions: that that Elvis somehow manifests on or around June 11th, having to do with Seattle, and after a spectacular event in Seattle on June 11th. And then Trump gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio, and he survives that head wound. And August 4th is Obama's birthday that Trump gets that head wound. And if you're new to the channel and you're watching this, like I said, you're not going to grasp the magnitude. I would go and watch a bunch of my older videos before this one, at least. Watch 10 videos before this one, 10 of them, and then come back and watch this again. That way you can grasp the magnitude. And for the people who are my regular viewers, I would recommend you watch this video again to grasp what I'm showing, to fully grasp it. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. End of video.